return, then you effectively want to sell, you want to buy back the shares for less, and then return the shares and keep the extra money. That's how it works. And it's like, there's a reason that this is convoluted, and normal people who don't play around with this stuff all day, every day, do not do that. Yes.
Like us. And
don't
little
think
little
about
preamble.
things that way. Yes.
Don't take any investment advice
Yeah.
or any ideas or even probably any thoughts from this stream. Neither of us have any idea what we're doing.
Exactly.
But
people are like, that's a horrible explanation. Okay, all right. We'll try one more time.
probably is.
We'll try one
You're
more
betting
time.
on that company to fail,
Wait,
and if they fail, you make money.
People are still correcting stuff
If
I
they
already
don't fail.
corrected, so I don't think they know what they're talking about. So the point is, you're betting on it to fail. This is not an investment. This is a bet that the stock will go down and that you can make money by borrowing the stock and hoping that you can buy it back at a lower price and pocket the difference. That's what you're doing. There. That's the fast explanation. So, what happens is if a large hedge fund shorts a stock like GameStop, to the tune of millions of dollars potentially, what can happen is if that stock goes up, at some point, part of the agreement when you short a stock is that you have to buy the shares back eventually. And so when you're shorting the stock, what you can do is either the stock goes down and you sit and watch your money just roll in, and you decide when's the right time to pull the trigger when you think it's bottomed out, and you pull your money out and you're like, woohoo, I am profiting off of everyone else's loss. Good job me. I made, tens of millions of dollars or $100 million or whatever. Or what happens is the stock starts to go up. Now that's bad if you're a short seller, because as the stock goes up, you still have to buy back those shares you borrowed. And if you have to buy them back at a higher price, well, guess what? You have to actually contribute more money than what you got in the first place. So what Wall Street Bets is doing is they're essentially saying, you know what, hedge funds, like, why does this mechanism even exist? I don't necessarily agree with Elon Musk about everything, but he put this pretty well. Where's his tweet about this? You can't sell houses you don't own. I mean, horses too. You can't sell horses you don't own, unless you're pre-selling an unborn foal. Then you could sell a horse you don't own. But anyway, you can't sell cars you don't own, unless you're taking pre-orders. But you can sell stock that you don't own.
You can also sell houses that weren't built yet.
Yeah, that's true. You actually can do that. Whatever. His point still stands. Why can you sell stock that you don't actually own? You should only invest in a company because you actually believe in the underlying business. At least that's sort of like conventional advice. Over the last couple of weeks, things have gotten pretty darn crazy.
And again, there was a comment talking about how, like, I love how every creator and podcast is trying to explain stocks right now. Yeah, and maybe we're not doing the greatest job of it, but we're trying to get people that haven't seen this somewhat up to speed, so we can talk about some of the other parts of this.
Yeah.
I have heard from some people that shorting exists to try to recorrect the stock market. The problem is that it's not being used in the way, it's not being used for the reason it was originally created, if that makes sense. People are now abusing the tool to, like, super tank companies with just massive amounts of weight in order to abuse that to make tons of profit. They're not using it to recorrect the market.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And when they're targeting smaller stocks, like, to be clear, large companies get shorted too. Apple gets shorted, Tesla gets shorted. But when they target a relatively small company that's got a low market cap, shorting is open to an incredible amount of abuse. Because what you can do is you can heavily short it, and then you can manipulate it and force it to bomb, and then you can reap a whole bunch of reward for basically doing nothing. It's abusive. And the funniest thing about all of this is that the hedge fund managers who are so upset about what Wall Street Bets is doing, saying it's like, it's abusive, are literally doing that. So, anyway, GameStop was one of the most heavily shorted companies on Wall Street. And what has happened since Wall Street Bets decided to begin this crusade is they have actually, and it's so funny that Robinhood, so that's the kind of, what is it, no fees? I forget what the fees are. I think Robinhood's mostly American. What's our Wealthsimple is kind of the Canadian equivalent of Robinhood.
Yeah. I don't think Robinhood, commission-free structure.
Commission-free structure, there you go. So Robinhood, ironically, since they appear to not have actually intended this, has participated directly in the redistribution of wealth from the very, very rich who didn't earn it to, I don't know necessarily about the poor, but definitely some poor and some medium income and some high income.
That YOLO'd there, and again, don't take stock advice from us. We have no idea what we're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. But there are some people that somehow found success that were poor and just hard YOLO'd their $600 stimulus checks. Like, that did happen. It's a bit of a meme that's going around. It did happen to some people. I suspect the main winners in this are not poor people.
Probably not.
I suspect the main winners on this were people with a lot of liquid funds that they could throw at things and not worry about if they lost, and were on top of this and saw where this was going and invested in it and made tons. I suspect that's the majority of the profit that happened. But still, there's a bunch of average people around that have made quite a bit of money off of this. So
yeah, so
cool.
that I consider to be a pretty darn good thing. So
yes,
one user, Deep Value, had an investment that peaked at over 33 million after making an initial YOLO investment of $50,000, and he or she is currently somewhat of a role model for the Wall Street Bet subreddit, garnering intense praise and rallying the troops to hold their shares, forcing short stocking firms to buy back the stock at insane prices. Because the thing is, the longer you hold and the greater it rises, the more pressure these hedge funds are under to, like, cut their losses at some point. Like, if they think they can wait it out, then they'll wait it out, because the reality of it is GameStop is not coming back to the forefront of U.S. retail. That's not a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
But they can only borrow those shares for so long, and they can only expose themselves to so much risk. So the whole thing is very tactical. And what I'm going to say is, don't take any of my advice, okay? No. Take the advice of the community there that has played this absolutely perfectly. So I'm not going to say,
or don't, because it's still super YOLO-y.
Apparently it's a guy. He got interviewed recently, and it peaked at over 50 million. So we're basically just saying, hey, apparently he cashed $9.5 million of it. So there you go. Someone with $50,000 to invest in something like this. Probably not exactly, the poor that Robinhood had in mind, but...
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so here's one of the other things that puts pressure on the hedge funds. They're also charged interest on what they borrow. Apparently the interest is currently at $11 billion US, because the more the stock goes to the moon, the heavier the interest is. That kind of makes sense. So, and the people they borrow the shares from can force them to return at any time. So these are all mechanisms that I'm not super familiar with, because I have never been tempted at any point in my life to short a stock. It's just not anything to do with what I want to do. But what I will say is that I think that income and wealth inequality is one of the biggest problems in the world right now. Perhaps I'm not going to say the biggest problem facing humanity, because we definitely have environmental issues that could wipe us all out regardless of how much money we have. But it is one of the biggest issues facing humanity right now. And wanna participate. So a lot of you have sent super chats into the show. Normally, I just do absolutely nothing with those, but today, we're gonna have some fun. So I am going to match you guys, and then I am going to 5x that number, and I am gonna buy GameStop, and we're gonna ride it into the ground. So that is my personal guarantee of quality, because as much as it's very clear that I do not fully understand the mechanisms at work, what I enjoy very, very much is people who are extremely wealthy for doing absolutely nothing and them losing their money because a bunch of small guys teamed up to stick it to them. I love it because you know what? I'm not exactly poor. I can afford to match all of these. I can afford to kiss that money goodbye and never see it again. So it's not like it's not like, you know, these people are campaigning for me. This is not to save me or anything like that. But I do actually work for my money. So that's a key difference. Like when we make videos, we actually, at least I believe, are creating some kind of actual value. We're not just shifting money around. You guys remember Ivan, who used to work at Linus Media Group? So he had a really great story that he loved to tell. He's told it to me at least 3 or 4 times in the time I've known him. So he goes, a son walks up to, or a father's getting some food out of the fridge. His son walks up and he says, "Papa, what do you do for work?" And his dad opens up the fridge, takes out a ham, okay, and then
he told me this story.
and then of course he has. Takes out the ham and puts it back in the fridge, and the son goes, "Sorry, I don't really understand." And his dad goes, "Well, that's what I do. I take something from here and I put it over here." And his son goes, "Well, but you took the ham and you just put it back. How do you make any money?" And the dad goes, "Ah, yes, but do you see my fingers? They're greasy." And it's like, yeah, dipping your fingers into just a little bit of everyone else actually doing any work. I don't respect it. I'm sorry. I just don't respect it. So that's what we're doing. And
What? Some big super chats?
oh,
Some big super chats?
this
I
is a
told
little
you.
more
Okay,
than I was
we were
expecting.
talking. We were talking before the show, and he said 5x, and I said you should do 2x. I said you should do 2x, or you should do like equal value.
Yvonne's gonna kill me, but I'm a man of my word. I will not let down the rocket ship to the moon. All right. We're up to $2,000.
You're what? You're over $2,000?
We were up to. Now we're at. It's moving very fast, sir.
We got $2,000, so that's 10,000.
That's 10. So that's 10.
Nice.
Okay.
To the moon.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to change the tab over there. I'm gonna move to the stream analytics. And okay, let's go ahead and move on to one of our other topics. So, other meme stocks.
Yeah, I don't think we're quite done.
Yeah, other meme stocks that people have been investing on to similarly put pressure on short sellers are AMC. There was some super small oil company that spiked like 1,000% or something like that. Silver is projected, it hasn't really done anything yet, but it's projected to be another big squeeze, another big short squeeze. So what a short squeeze is, this one I understand, that's when there's a whole bunch of very large shorts on the stock, and you drive it up, squeezing the people who are holding short positions. So the more large hedge funds are shorting a stock, the more you can effectively squeeze them out and force them to bail. And there's a whole timing to this that the r/Wall Street Bets has all kind of got figured out, people who know a lot more than me. But what's really cool about AMC in particular is as someone who actually loves movies but doesn't really, I'm not really the biggest fan of the theater industry necessarily, but like I don't want it to be gone.
Yeah.
What something like this does is if people invest invest in AMC and actually hold, if you really do hold, it might just get them through the pandemic. Which, I mean, I wouldn't mind independent theaters making a return either, but, you know, that business model might have sailed already as it is anyway, and I'd rather have movie theaters to go to than not have movie theaters to go to, so that's pretty cool. If for no other reason than it really demonstrates the power of the small guy when mobilized by something like the internet. So massive respect to Wall Street Bets. I will apparently be doing my part to the tune of
Oh, there's a long show left.
at least 20 grand so far. Yvonne is going to lose her I'm going to enjoy this water from lttstore.com. Maybe the last water I ever drink.
Maybe take a trip to the store real quick. Subscribe to Floatplane.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys.
Oh my
You know
goodness.
what, though? You know what? I'm good for it. I'm good for it. I am happy to do my part. I don't typically, like, I have one investment. It's like something Yvonne arranged through, like, our bank because it's like a taxation optimization thing. To be clear, it is optimization, not evasion or even avoidance, because what it's doing is it's optimizing the when I will pay the taxes, not if. So I have to have, it's like something trust, something. I have to have like a stocks type investment in order to, anyway, whatever. So I have that. I don't even know how much it is, but other than that, I own zero crypto. I own zero stocks. The main reason for stocks is, as an influencer, I think it's unethical for me to own stocks, like for realsies. I mean, this is some meme shit right here. This is not real. This is not real investing. And then as for crypto, I bought into the hype train more than I probably should have in 2018. I ate it real hard on that one, and I'm just like, you know what? Once bitten, twice shy. I'm gonna go back to what I always believed in. I always believed in earning money by going out and getting your hands dirty. And maybe not your hands. Maybe it's your brain writing about technology muscles. Whatever it is, I believe in creating actual value, and I think what we do creates actual value. We inform people. We entertain people. That's something the world needs. So this will be. I mean, I'm going to have to get Wealth Simple, right? I'm going to have to get Wealth Simple.
I think so. You also know that I don't do this.
Yeah, I know. Man. Okay. So I'm downloading Wealth Simple Trade. Okay. So I'm getting that. We're working on that. I mean, I thought you got. Okay, I don't know why I thought this. I thought it was gonna be like double, you know, like a typical WAN show
No.
super chat haul. So I was thinking like,
I don't know why you thought that.
I don't know, like $5 grand. Like I thought I'd be able to do this on my credit card.
I think you might be touching 50 by the end of the show.
Shh, don't encourage them.
I'm just.
Oh, that is a lot. That's not the kind of thing that I really do. Research firm S3 calculates that short sellers have lost $5 billion on GameStop so far this year. At least 2 have seen their stakes completely wiped out. AMC spiked 260% when trading began on Wednesday, and hashtag SaveAMC is trending on Twitter. In a massive upset to the online community of small-time buyers, online trading provider Robinhood restricted buying of GME and AMC stocks, prompting a swift class action lawsuit. Yeah, so this is why they were getting review bond, and this is why it was justified. Because basically the only reason for Robinhood to restrict trading of these stocks is to protect hedge fund jackasses. Like, so why? That's the only possible logical reason for them to do that. So people are justifiably mad as, especially, do you know about the, like, while the stock was not able to be traded by retail investors, apparently they were trading back and forth between themselves to lower the price. Do you know about
Yeah.
this? Have you heard about this? Yeah. So that's some pretty disgusting manipulation right there. Robinhood has since re-enabled trading, and the SEC has started to step in, vowing to protect retail